Hey, it's Pete C for Sample Library Review, and today I'm checking out Animation Station from Sample Logic. Animation Station is all about adding movement to your instruments at the touch of a button. While both simplistic and deep at the same time, Animation Station can turn a simple pluck into an exciting melodic or sequential line. While arpeggiators aren't particularly new, Animation Station works with any instrument you have. That's right, any instrument. Be it a software synth, orchestral samples, or a simple piano, just route the MIDI through Animation Station and get creating. Sample Logic's first creation tool is a huge time saver and will help you take your existing libraries to new places. Animation Station requires 50 megabytes to download and at least 6 gigabytes of RAM to operate. Animation Station also includes over 300 arpeggiated and sequence presets. For a full list of supported DAWs, please check out the Sample Logic website. Animation Station normally sells for $149.99, but it's available on intro for $99.99. The first point of note is that Animation Station is not a library full of samples. It is a creative plugin to give all of your existing libraries the ability to either have arpeggios created out of them or for sequences. Now, this will take all of your existing libraries to new places. No matter what you have, you can create some really cool new sounds out of them. It's really, really simple to use. So I'm going to illustrate this with a simple sound I've made from Guitar Fury, which is another Sample Logic library. I've just created a 4-chord progression using a really, really simple pluck. So let's hear that. That is certainly nothing particularly exciting, just basic triads with a bass note. Now, you notice that Animation Station is doing absolutely nothing. All you need to do is route the MIDI through Animation Station. So I've just quickly done that. It takes one click in Cubase. And if I press play now, all we'll hear is the Animation Station effect. So that really simple pluck, which was fairly boring and monotonous, has now become a more exciting and vibrant part that's moving. The idea of Animation Station is really, really simple. It isn't anything new. Arpeggiators and sequencers have been built into instruments in the past. However, what sets this apart are two things. First of all, you can use this on any instrument you own, and I can't emphasize how cool that is. Secondly, it's just done so incredibly well. It's very easy to use. In the middle, you have all of these different parameters that you can change. However, for jumping off points, you can just click on the folder at the top and you have over 300 presets. So these are standard, transpose, glitch, or drum machine. And you can favorite these just by highlighting the heart, which is a very cool thing that Sample Logic tend to do in their libraries. So if I was to open up a standard, and you don't know what you're going to get until you play it. So let's hear our chord progression. So that humble pluck has been completely changed into something totally new. Let's try another one. And let's go for one more from the standard category. So 26, and why not? Very, very straightforward. Now, the transpose will change the pitches. And remember, we are just using a very basic pluck for illustrating exactly what Animation Station does. So we will check out some different instruments working with it. But for now, let's hear the progression again. So it's certainly changing the pitches, and let's just go for one more, number 16. So that is completely unrecognizable from the original chord progression. Now if we go into glitch, we should have a glitch effect. Let's go for number 3. And like I say, you don't know what you get until you actually play it, so anything could happen. So obviously with a synth, maybe that will sound a lot different and probably a bit more appropriate, but you get the idea. Let's do one more glitch, number 15. Actually, let's go down the bottom, number 40. Okay, and the last one are drum machines. Obviously, we don't have a drum sound on at the moment, but if I just play the kind of thing you get, you can even visualize the velocity of what the pattern will look like. Let's just play it now. So later in the video, I'll put some drum samples on, probably from Drum Fury 2, and just see how that works together. So that's just a really, really quick example. Oh, also, if you hover over certain buttons, it will tell you what they do, which is a very, very nice touch, because on the surface of things, it could look like a confusing instrument, but it really isn't. The learning curve is quite straightforward. Now the fun really starts with Animation Station when you start feeding different instruments through it. So I've been using Guitar Fury, and if I just press play, we have a different sound now. So let's open one more in the guitar realm. Anything could happen. That's the cool thing about this. It's very, very creative. Organ of the Trinity. Why not? Sounds a bit different, and you can cycle through all of these different patterns in real time. So let's go for something a little bit different again. Central reality. I'll go for something plucked so we can hear the difference. Okay, there we go. And let's cycle through a few. So when you're auditioning different sequences, that's a really handy way to do it. And I actually quite like the number 10 standard for this particular sound. It works really well. And I'd probably use this as a jumping off point. Now, looking at the GUI, before we start playing different instruments going through it, you have your tempo, which is 120, and you can adjust the speed as well. So I've made it twice as fast. We can make it half speed. go back, and you can change the amount of octaves. And how many steps you're going to use. And you also have the latch mode as well. So they are the really basic controls. If I was to go back to, let's say, number 1, because it's quite busy, and then we can just talk about these middle controls as well. You can turn off the steps or turn them on as you want. So we have a different pattern there straight away, and then you can adjust the rate as well. So if you want everything to be an eighth note or a quarter note, that's easy done. And you can adjust individual sections just by sort of highlighting them with your mouse as well. There are some pre-built patterns as well. So if I turn these back on, it's starting to sound a little bit messy, so I'm just going to reload the pattern. But you get the idea. So you can obviously have 42 different presets there. They can have different arpeggios, so up, down, as played, random chord or alternating chord or patterns, and there are 26 of those to choose from as well. Then the velocity, you can keep them all the same if you want. Get that kind of machine gun mode. I'm actually going to turn latch off. There it gets a little bit cleaner. And then again, you have all these different patterns. And you can quite simply draw in your own, your own velocity as well. And your own durations, which was the length. You can also transpose, go up an octave, or go down an octave. There's a fairly strange gradient, and then you have all these options as well of steps. So all steps could be at 16, for example, or you can have chromatic steps. I'll do some crazy stuff. Major. Probably not going to quite fit with the pattern put in. Minor, modal, and octaves. So again, a lot to work through there. I've just deleted one with change pattern. And then the stutter rate as well. So it's quite exaggerated. Then down the bottom, a very, very cool function once you get a sequence you like, you can actually drag and drop it into your DAW. So you have that sequence in MIDI. You can assign the mod wheel controller and key switches to your various arpeggiator parameters. And not that I've needed to use it very often, but once or twice, you can just kill everything that's going on in Animation Station. I did have a hanging note once, and I've been using this for quite a few hours now. And then at the top, you have randomize. So nice and easy. And you can adjust exactly what you want to randomize, so you don't have to do everything if you don't want to. And then you can randomly reorder the arpeggiator steps. And then click to double the number of active steps, cloning the parameters of the original steps. So this is going to sound a little bit crazy. And that's it. That is all the controls that you're going to need for Animation Station. And you have this really, really cool different view as well if you want to look at it in a circle view. But I'm going to load first pattern again. I'll be honest, in terms of reading and understanding what's going on, I probably wouldn't have a clue, but it does look pretty ace to me. These drum settings seem really interesting, so I'm going to open the first one, and I've opened up Drum Fury 2, which I did review not so long ago. And you can see it re-triggers the sample. And you can make some cool drum patterns really, really quickly. And I absolutely love those synth kits. But if we go for something a bit more organic and see what that sounds like. So if we go... where are we? World percussion. Let's go for a doll drum. So also on this one, the velocity isn't really varying at all. So let's just change that. We're going to change the pattern. That's a very cool build. Let's go frame drum ensemble. Okay, there we go. I seem to have frozen it there a little bit. The cool thing is, obviously, with the round robins, and the velocity changes, it sounds absolutely wicked. I really like that pattern, so I'm going to see what it sounds like using a different library. So I've loaded up Damage 2, and I've loaded up the GM trailer kit, and just to see what it sounds like. So you can build some really, really cool patterns. Let's just change, that looks quite interesting. And again, you can MIDI drop into your instruments and just sort of build these really intricate patterns. So yeah, sounds absolutely great. Now, let's just try it with something completely different. So we've got Aeon Melodic. Let's go for some hits. That sounds really cool. I didn't think that would work, but it's kind of giving those like massive Aeon hits a really cool like pulse. Let's try a different combo. It does take a little bit of time to kind of work, as it were. So it's given Aeon a little bit of a different sort of feel. Let's go for so. I don't know why I'm just sticking with Heaviosity libraries. I'm a huge fan of them. So let's just try some horns. I'm going to bring the volume down slightly. There we go. I don't really need to bring it down. Let's stay up. So I think with the drums, as they don't change pitch, you can get some really cool, like, sort of pulse patterns. And movement. If I go back to the sort of more arpeggiated, they're a bit different. Let's just throw in, let's go somewhere else. It'd be quite cool to see what it sounds like on some strings. So we're on arc high sustains. Yeah, it's quite interesting. A bit of a almost like a machine gun effect. Let's go back to drum machine. Yeah, that's very cool. So you can make some sort of patterns and ostinatos quite quickly. Let's just change. And like I say, it really invites experimenting a lot. So I could literally spend hours with this, and I'll be honest, I will be spending hours with this. I think it's a really, really cool tool to inject this movement and new ideas and just be creative with your music. My final thoughts about Animation Station from Sample Logic. Quite simply put into one word, it's wow. And these are the reasons. I love this plugin because it forces you to be creative. No matter which libraries you're using, you can now turn them into sequences and arpeggios. We're always going to need to add motion to our music, so this is a perfect way to do it. It's so easy to get started. You can open one of the 300 or more presets, and then you can start tweaking, or you can just start from scratch and make what you want. But really, it pushes what your music's going to be. Any plugin that invites creativity, is something different and a bit experimental, for me is a winner. Like I say, it's really straightforward to use. You have all the different bubbles popping up. The learning curve took me maybe 5 minutes just to get used to it, and I will, as I've said, lose hours and hours and hours working with this plugin to create some really cool and unique sounds. So do I recommend it? Yes, I really recommend this plugin to any composer, no matter what kind of music you're doing. This is going to be an absolute godsend. Well, thank you so much for checking out this quick first look at Animation Station. I really have only just begun to scratch the surface of it, and yeah, I can't wait to spend more time with it. If you like what you saw or heard, feel free to leave us a like and leave us a comment. What would you use Animation Station for? What do you like about it? If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel and check out our other reviews, and also pop over to samplereview.com to check out everything that's going on in the world of virtual instruments. Have a great day, a great weekend, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Until next time.